Hi, my name is Humberto Arroyo, and I'll be going over one of our questions that we had on our SPL. That question being, what is a BPR, or in other words, what is a business process reengineering? Uh, Before I did start recording this video, I did actually conduct a bit of research throughout the internet, and I did come across a couple of interesting websites that discuss a little bit about BPR and what it is and what it does for certain people like managers. So let's take a look at what we found. So, throughout a bit of Google researching, I did come across a website by the name of Bain and Company. And Bain and Company basically describes and defines what business process reengineering is. So in this first paragraph, they give a blunt definition of what business process reengineering is. So let's read that real quick. It states, business process reengineering involves the radical redesign of core business processes to achieve dramatic improvements in productivity, cycle times, and quality. In business process reengineering, companies start with a blank sheet of paper and rethink existing processes to deliver more value to the customer. They typically adopt a new value system that places increased emphasis on customer needs, as well as companies reduce organizational layers and eliminate unproductive activities in two key areas. First, they redesign functional organizations into cross-functional teams. Second, they use technology to improve data dissemination and decision making. So when I first read over that, I thought it was a pretty cool definition of what business process reengineering is. It did clarify a couple of questions that I did have about it, mainly about who is it more towards and who does it benefit. And as we see right here, it does say it delivers more value to the customer. So I believe that business process reengineering is a more uh, a more focused type of reengineering that makes a difficult process that's probably difficult for a customer much more easier, and it makes the experience for the customer much more enjoyable. And as we scroll down further, we also see a headline that states how business process reengineering works. So mainly it talks about how managers should benefit from it and things that they should look upon. And we see some bullet points right here. So let's read the first one. So it says refocus company values on customer needs. Next one being redesign core processes, often using information technology to enable improvements. Third being reorganize a business into cross-functional teams with end-to-end responsibility for a process. Third being rethink basic organizational and people issues. And lastly, improve processes across the organization. We also see a couple other things right here down below it, a couple related topics to it, and Bain capabilities. So we see it states business process redesign, cost and supply chain management, IT project turnaround. So it's a couple of things that just have to do with business process reengineering and related to it. The very cool thing about this that I did find in this website is how companies use business process reengineering. So I'll read two of the things that are right here listed in bold. So it reduces cost and cycle time. So let's read what it says. Business process reengineering reduces cost and cycle times by eliminating unproductive activities and the employees who perform them. Reorganization by teams decrease the need for management layers, accelerates information flows, and eliminates the errors and rework caused by multiple handoffs. Also, it improves quality, and it states business process reengineering improves quality by reducing the fragmentation of work and establishing clear ownership of processes. Workers gain responsibility for their output and can measure their performance based on prompt feedback. So after reading these two things, I thought to myself, well, there has to be a certain process where uh, business process reengineering has to go through, through the managers or whoever's making this reengineering possible for a business. So I thought maybe I should look up a type of model or steps that I can understand to kind of acknowledge what the whole process goes through. So I found a pretty good model on Google Images, and so let's see it. So the title says business process reengineering, and there are the steps that people take to go through the whole reengineering process. So the first one, it reads develop vision and objectives. The second being understand existing processes. The third being identify processes for redesign. The fourth one being identify change levels. Fifth being implement the next processes. Next, make new process operational. 7. Evaluate the new process. 8. Ongoing continuous improvement. And that being the last. So I thought to myself, well, I mean, now that you've made this whole re-engineering processes, is there like a certain real life situation where this has been implemented? And so throughout more research and a couple of Google searches, I came across this Cleverism page online where I found some actual famous examples of business process re-engineering, as it states right here on the heading. So the first one being Ford, and the paragraph reads, in his suggestion to Ford, Michael Hammer proposed something radical: eliminate the invoice. In the new scenario, a buyer no longer needed to send a copy of the purchasing order form to a creditor administration. Instead, he registers an order in the online database. When the items appear at the storekeeper checks whether these correspond to the purchase order form in the system. In the old system, he did not have access to this form. If the items match the order, he accepts them and registers this in the computer system. If they do not, the items are returned. Hammer reported that Ford benefited drastically from this change, with an almost 75% decrease in workforce in the accounts payable department. So it sounds like Ford really benefited from this BPR after Michael Hammer had proposed to them, especially eliminating the invoice and causing a whole lots of problems. So after they introduced the BPR to Ford, I mean, they could eliminate those problems and have the customers have a better experience with Ford. The next one being that I thought was interesting is Taco Bell. Taco Bell reimagined their business, focusing more on the retail service aspect and centralizing the manufacturing area. The K- program was created, and the meat, corn shells, beans, lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes for the restaurants were now prepared in central commissaries outside the restaurant. At the restaurants, the prepared ingredients are assembled when ordered by a customer. Better employee morale, increased quality control, fewer accidents and injuries, bigger savings, and more time for focusing on customer business processes are some of the successes of the new way of work. Taco Bell has gone from being a 500 million company in 1982 to a 3 billion company in the early 1990s. So as you can see, Taco Bell really benefited from this BPR, since, I mean, we can see right here it states Taco Bell went from being 500 million from being a 500 million company in 1982 to a 3 billion company from the early 1990s. And there's a couple more examples right here that you can see on Cleverism. We have another one from Hallmark, but I won't go through that one. But yeah, so throughout a couple of researching searches and all that on Google, I got to find out a little bit more about what BPR is, the process that it takes to go through a BPR, and how to conduct a BPR in a business. And we also saw that there are businesses that benefit a lot from using BPRs, as we've seen with both Ford and as well as from Taco Bell. So yeah, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.